Right, so here is the box. Pull out for a little bit for the SS United States. Let's go ahead and open her up and have a look and see what all's inside of here. All right, so here's our hull. So it's a solid piece, just like the model was for the Missouri. So that's interesting. Now you could tell someone tried to, or at least started to make an attempt to build this model, because they drilled out the portholes up here on the front of the ship. I think I'm just going to seal them back up with some putty or something, and the white paint over it will mask that pretty well, I think. Here is the rest of it. Looks like there are several sheets of sprues. It looks like it's still sealed. There are some broken pieces. Well, not broken pieces, but there are pieces that look like they have broken off of the sprues. See, there should be a funnel right here, or part of a funnel, and it's not there. So there were actually two funnels on the ship. And there's the other piece kind of moving around in the bag. There's the top of it. This looks like it's going to be a very bare bones model. It looks like it's a very old model. It could have possibly been out of production for a very long time. I think it's copyright 1955. The instructions. Now, I already took a look at them, and they're interesting to say the least. So here's the front page of the instruction manual, and let's take a look at the instructions. There they are. One page of instructions, and it looks as you can see, there are not a whole lot of pieces in order to put this model together. Honestly, I think if I didn't have to paint this model, I could probably have this together in 45 minutes to an hour. It really doesn't look like it's going to be a very detailed build. But that's what it is. I mean, and even if it's not a very detailed model, in my view, I would rather have a bare bones model of this ship than no model at all. So that's my stance on it. So I'm just grateful to even have this one. So with that having said, I am going to go ahead and start getting the hull ready to be painted, because that is always the first thing I do. Assemble the hull if it's required, and then paint them. And we will start stacking the parts up on it from there. But I did spray them. Got a nice, smooth, clean looking job on that, which I really love. I'm going to end up brush painting the tops of the funnels, which were blue. And I've got this, it's a matte blue from Revell. And I'm going to use that for the tops of the funnels because the big used funnels were the tops of them were painted blue. I tried some out on a sprue before I even thought of applying it to the tops of the funnels to see if I'd like the color. And I really do like the color. I think it's pretty much spot on. So I'll be using this. And I had this originally, if you recall, if you watched the video of my build of the Missouri, the planes, the instructions called for the planes to be painted in this color. So that's the only other thing I've ever used this paint for. So I've still got quite a bit of it left. So that's what I'm going to be using for the tops of the funnels. After searching for about 2 weeks to find the right type of paint to paint the decks, I went and found some guy on YouTube, and he's restoring a different version of the Big U that he had built many years ago, and he was having the same issue. So he went and found this here. It's a Rust-Oleum paint. It says it does bond to plastic, which it looks like it is doing. Satin Seaweed. So I took his recommendation and tried this, and this is the result. Of course, with it being sprayed, nice smooth finish, no brush strokes, and it looks good. It looks pretty close to every picture I've been seeing of the ship in its heyday. And let's go ahead and pull some masking tape off. Obviously, this is the bow. And see what it looks like. Now, of course, there are things I'm going to have to go and touch up on after the fact because you've got the winches here, and the pieces are just too small to cover with masking tape, so I'm just going to have to paint black over them, which should not be a problem. You can paint black over anything, and it's usually not an issue. Of course, I'm going to do all of that before I glue the bow here to the hull. Now, I apologize if my voice is sounding a little weird in this part of the video. I am kind of under the weather today, so I'm really not working on the ship at all. I'm just kind of relaxing and chilling, and but I just thought I would show this piece real quick. Looks like it came out pretty nice. Got a lot of small pieces because this is a relatively small model. So it looks like the lines came out pretty good. There's not a whole lot of touching up I'm going to have to do on this one, thank goodness. Okay, and there she is. Alright, so the bow is finally ready to be put onto the ship. Gonna apply some glue here, and got a rubber band off to the side that's gonna help keep it in place while the glue dries. And it looks like it should go in place pretty easy. I've tried it without putting the glue on it, and it seems like it should be okay. So that should be enough. Let's pop her on. that's as good as she's gonna get. And let's put a rubber band on. All right, and let it dry. I've got most of the pieces already painted. There really isn't a ton of pieces for this particular build. Got all of this right here. Those two pieces are the stand, and all this, bringing everything into the, and that's pretty much it. All I've got left to really paint is this piece. I've got some touching up to do on this one, and of course we'll have some touch-ups on this one after it's painted, and that's it. Everything will be ready to assemble. So I'm putting on the starboard side of the superstructure here, and as typical with Revell models, I am having to modify pieces in order to get them to fit. I had to do that a good bit with the Titanic, and now I'm having to do it with this model. This one's actually hasn't been quite as bad as the Titanic was, though. I mean, I really had to do some modding on that one. Cutting up a lot of pieces, sanding down pieces. I've only had to cut one piece so far on here in order to get things to line up, but they are lining up pretty well. The only problem I'm really having is there's a seam between the hull and the superstructure on the port side, and it looks like it might end up being here on the starboard side too. I haven't quite figured out what to do with that yet. We'll see how well the glue holds down and holds everything in place, but she's coming together real good. And there isn't a whole lot of pieces on this particular model, so you see once the painting's done, I'm actually doing this in the matter of a few hours, doing the whole assembly. So it's going to be not too much longer before this ship is assembled and ready to join the All-American Travels fleet. Okay, so all the lower decks have been installed on the ship from bow to stern. I'm still letting this part dry while I put on the next upper deck here. Okay, so that's going to conclude part 1 of building the SS United States. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to tune in next week to see the conclusion of this series. It's only going to be a 2-part series, and you'll get to see what the completed model looks like. So thanks again for watching. I'll see you in the next video, and until then, drive safely.